Hello, maths class. We're going to try and be online more often so you can access all the notes anywhere you are. So today we're going to figure out or revise how to find a percentage of an amount. What does that mean? Let's have a look at the whiteboard. The word percentage, as we have learned, is nothing more than a fraction out of 100. And the word of means nothing more than times. So we're looking for fraction times an amount. Let's do an example. For example, let's do 50% of $10. Now we know that answer 50% of $10 is $5. But how do we do it showing all our working out? Now there's two ways. We can use the fractional method, or we can use a decimal method. And today we have to look at both ways because I will test you and ask you to show me both ways on the test. So fraction method, we're going to write 50% as a fraction, 50 over 100, 50% of, we can write it with the times, 10. How do we write 10? We write 10 over 1. Now we look for numbers we can cancel out. 50 into 50 goes once, 50 into 100 goes twice. So now multiply across, we have 1 times 10 is 10, and 2 times 1 is 2. 10 divided by 2, $5, as we have expected. Now let's have a look at the decimal version of this question. So what does percent mean? How many times do we move the decimal point? Twice. So we start from here, go 1, 2. Ta-da! Put the decimal point there. So we have 0.50 of times 10. So now it looks like a much simpler question. And if you plug that into the calculator, you get $5. So same answer, different methods. Probably I prefer the decimal method because I can write the decimal really quickly and just shove it in a calculator. You might need the fraction method when you don't have a calculator. So yes, you do need to learn both. Let's look at another example. Oh, by the way, pause the video if you taking a while to copy the notes. There are no other notes for this topic. This is the page to copy. So pause. Okay, when you're done, we are going to do the worked example from the textbook. So again, we're going to do it in two different methods. In the fraction, as a fraction. How do we do that? Move the decimal, 12%, 12% of, write the times, 350, 350 as a fraction is 350 over 1. Now, how do we cancel this? What numbers can we see? Now, the most obvious one is 50. 50 into 100 goes twice, and 50 into 350 goes 7 times. Now we have 12 and 2. We can cancel it further, or you can multiply across. I prefer to cancel it. So anytime you see a number on top and a number at the bottom, you can cancel. So just so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, ignore my classroom chat. So let's switch to a different color so we can see. So at top number 12 and at top bottom number 2. 2 into 2 goes once, and 2 into 12 goes 6 times. So now we have 6 times 7, which is 42. And don't forget the units, dollars. Okay, now let's go and have a look at the same question, but this time we're going to go and do it as a decimal. With the decimal form, how do we do this? We move the decimal percent. How many times we move the decimal? Twice. 1, 2. So now we have 0.12 of means times 350. So chucked in the calculator and you get $42. Same answer, different methods. Now we're going to do the next question. It looks very similar, but you have to be very careful. Why? There's only one number before the decimal point. So 5.2%. How do we write that? 5.2 over 100. That looks pretty ugly because there's a decimal in a fraction. So we must move this once, and therefore we move the bottom decimal once. So now we have a different fraction. We have 52 over 1,000. Be very careful with that. Now write down of which is times 30. So we got all our information there. We can work on this. Don't forget to put it over 1. Now, the easiest thing to simplify here is a 0. Get rid of the 0. Now, what else can we do? Let's pick another color. 52 and 100 is pretty hard to do in your head. So what's something really easy that we can do straight away? We can divide both of them by 2. So we can have 50 and 26. And then you look at it and you're like, I can divide this by 2 one more time. So 13 and 25. Now let's look at our top numbers. I'm going to pick another color because it's getting too messy. 13 times 3 is 39 over, what's our bottom number? 25. And the units is kilograms. Now you have to put this in a calculator and you will get 1.56 kilograms. All right, let's do this as a decimal, which is my favorite way. We have 5.2. So let's have a look at moving the decimal twice. So bang, bang, put a dot there and a 0. So now we have 0.052. Be very careful with that extra 0. Of means times 30. Put that in the calculator and you have 1.56 kilograms. Done. Now, it's time for you to go to the exercise and do the questions. Be very careful with the way you set it out. I will practice writing with you really quickly a few more percentages as a decimal if you've forgotten. But if you do remember, you can switch off and go and do the exercise and go back to Google Classroom because there's other things there to do as well. Okay, so you can go off and do it if you understand. Otherwise, stay on this page for a little longer. We will do a few more percentages into decimals. So let's do a couple more. Let's do random numbers like 12%, 1.2%, 0.3%, 20.5%. Let's do something big, 300%. So how do we write this as a decimal? Let's use red. Move the decimal point twice. So the decimal points there, 1, 2. So now we have 0.12. How do we write this as a decimal? Move the decimal twice. So 1, 2. Oops, does that weird thing sometimes. Put a dot there, 0. So 0.012. So you notice that 0 there. Move the decimal twice again, 1, 2. Put the dot. So now we have 0.003. For this one, we move it twice again. So 1, 2. Put the dot there, 0.205. Last one, this one's tricky. Put the dot, 1, 2 there, right in the middle there. I don't know if you can see it. 3.00. So that's how you convert again from percentages into decimal. Review the last lesson if you forgot, or you can pause just before and try these and check that you get the same answer. All right, have fun. Bye.